This is Professor Ruchi Gupta from AIML and Cybersecurity Department, SIRT Bhopal. Today we'll see an important topic of Python coding, that is loops in Python. Loops are nothing but a programming structure that allows you to repeat a block of code multiple times without rewriting or writing it again and again. Basically, it's a kind of control structure that allows us to repeat the code again without writing it, without mentioning it again and again. There are basically two types of loops. First is while loop, second is for loop. First, we'll see what is while loop. While loop is nothing but a programming control structure that repeats a block of code as long as the given condition comes true. Clearly, we can see in syntax that we need to mention a condition after writing the keyword while for execution of code. There are two major points that needs to be remembered. First, the condition will be checked after each iteration in while loop. The second one is that the variable inside the loop must be updated repetitively, or after each iteration it must be updated, as it may become an infinite loop if it not get updated. If we can see an example, here we have initialized the I with value of 1. We have clearly mentioned a condition that we can execute the I until and unless the I is less than or equals to 5. Inside the code, we have returned the condition of printing I. After that, we have incremented the value of I with 1. The output for the particular program will be the series from 1 to 5 in horizontal. As we have mentioned an end function, the output will be in horizontal. We can see another example of checking palindrome number, in which we have checked if the number is greater than 0. Then after we'll start checking the number. If the revised reverse of the number is equals to the original number, then we'll gonna print the number is palindrome. In else condition, we can write that the number is not palindrome. After that, we'll see another type of loop, that is for loop. A for loop in Python is a control structure used to iterate over sequences like list, string, tuple, dictionary, or range, and execute a block of code for each time in that sequence. Basically, we'll use the for loop in the sequential manner. Clearly, we can see the syntax in example. Here we have given in code for printing a series from 1 to 5. We have iterated I in range 1 to 6. Clearly, we can mention 6 as the for loop breaks down before the last iteration. The key points that needs to be remembered, as we already have mentioned, that the for loop works with the sequential data types like list, tuple, string, dictionary, set, and otherwise we'll use range. Cleaner and simpler type it is, as we compare it with the while loop, as it works with iteration and we already know the iterations, it's easier to use. Commonly used for looping specific number of times using range. Now we'll see another example of for loop. Here we are totaling the marks of a student and getting the average of their marks. Like we have already submerged the marks in a list, and we are finally counting or totaling those marks and getting the total of the 5 subjects and getting the average by dividing it by the length of the string, the length of the list. After that, we'll see what will be the differences between for loop and while loop. Here, first point is for loop is used when the number of iteration is known. Otherwise, While loop is used when the number of iteration is unknown. Basically, we work with while loop for conditions. Like if we know the condition, we go for while loop. If we know the exact number of iteration, we usually prefer for loop. Another point is for loop works for sequences like list, range, string, etc. While the while loop works with condition. As we already have seen or mentioned that while loop goes with conditions and the for loop goes with the sequential data types. Another point is for loop automatically updates the loop variable while the while loop needs or require the manual update. We have seen in the examples that we incremented the variable by 1 or we may increase the incrementation, but in for loop the incrementation comes by default. The another point is for loop has very low chance of infinite loop, while the while loop can easily become infinite. As we already have mentioned that if we do not manually increase or increment the value of variable in while loop, it may become an infinite loop. The last point we need to see in the differences is for loop is best for iterating over items, while loop is best for condition based repetition. As we already have mentioned that if the iteration or the number of iteration or the number of elements are known, we usually go or prefer for the while loop. For the for loop, I'm really sorry, for the for loop. But if we know the condition, we usually go for the while loop, as the while loop is best for condition based repetition. Thank you so much and have a nice day.